Primer sells its time travel as a maintenance problem, not a miracle. That is the trick, and also the horror. Causality becomes something you can miscalibrate, like a voltage reference, and that idea lands hard. The story starts small, and that is why it feels credible. Two engineers, Aaron and Abe, stumble into a device that loops time. They do not chase dinosaurs or rewrite history. They exploit short-range knowledge for stock trades and for strategic prediction. If you could see a few hours ahead, that is the first temptation. Not glory, not salvation, just arbitrage. What makes the machine feel engineered is its set of constraints. It is not a dial-a-date time machine. The box has to be turned on before you can go back. You cannot travel to any moment earlier than the box's activation, and you must spend the whole interval inside, waiting it out. Your body does the full subjective duration in a cramped, sealed container. That one rule changes everything. Time travel is not a jump. It is confinement, fatigue, and risk management. Those constraints also create the film's most unsettling realism. During a loop, duplicates can exist. Not alternate universe twins, but overlapping segments of one history. For a while, the same person's world line covers the same external hours twice. In the room, though, that means two bodies, two metabolisms, two sets of atoms. A weaker movie would play that for comedy. Here, it becomes an operational nightmare. Where do you hide? Who goes outside? Who takes the call? Who owns the plan? Continuity stops being a philosophy seminar and becomes a logistics problem. Once information can travel backward, bootstraps appear fast. At first, the bootstrapped item is just market data. Later, it can be recordings, instructions, and pre-written scripts for your past self. Then it gets darker. Plans arrive with no clear author because the author is inside the loop. A happens because B happened, and B happened because A happened. That circularity is the heart of a bootstrap paradox. The film escalates until even identities feel unstable. Which you made the choice, and which you is merely obeying it. Primer's boldest assumption is that timing and discipline can domesticate the loop. The men treat causality like an engineering system. Power, isolation, calibration, scheduling, and procedural checklists. They worry about physical duplication and about versions of a person meeting. That is a brilliant dramatic idea. It turns metaphysics into lab work, but it also highlights the central tragedy. The operators are nowhere near disciplined enough to run it safely. Now, the hard science pushback. The garage-built, closed, time-like curve is the film's biggest physical miss. Closed time-like curves do show up in mathematical solutions to relativity. But those scenarios usually involve extreme space-time structure. Think rotating black holes, cosmic strings, wormholes, or engineered global boundaries. Primer gives you a small box made from ordinary-seeming components. That scale mismatch is enormous. A real closed time-like curve is not just a clever electromagnetic trick. It would require space-time's geometry, the metric itself, to allow return paths. And the film treats the box as locally manufacturable and reproducible. Build one, then build a failsafe, then build several more. Known discussions of time machines do not make causality violation look that accessible. A second missing piece is chronology protection. Stephen Hawking argued in broad terms that physics may prevent macroscopic time machines, not as a settled theorem, but as a warning sign. Quantum effects could misbehave near the boundary where a closed loop would form. You might expect runaway energy, instability, or some kind of back reaction. Primer gives you social and psychological instability instead. Physically, the box can be turned on, left running, transported, and reused. It behaves like a hazardous appliance, not an attack on global causal structure. That choice keeps the story clean, but it dodges a major scientific pressure point. Then there is self-consistency, the part most viewers feel without naming. Classic analyses, like billiard balls interacting through a wormhole, show the issue. If something goes back and hits its earlier self, the history must still close. Paradoxical outcomes are not allowed in self-consistent solutions. Only the work somehow trajectories exist. Now replace a billiard ball with an anxious human hiding secrets. Primer often acts like self-consistency is tactical. Stay in a hotel room, follow a script, use an earpiece, avoid eye contact. But in a genuine, closed, time-like curve space-time, consistency is global. It is not just whether Aaron is clever enough in the moment. It is whether the entire four-dimensional history has any consistent solution at all.